if you had some kind of whiplash injury from before, whether it is a motor vehicle accident, a motorcycle accident, perhaps you fell off a trampoline and you had this whiplash mechanism of injury, and then sometime after, months later, years later, weeks later even, depending on the severity of the injury, you start having some kind of cognitive or mental or even emotional instability. You got to understand that the pain that was initially created from that injury has not been dealt with. And what that has done, it is now bombarding the other centers of your brain. Now, people often find it shocking that I would link such an event years ago to their present symptoms. Why is that the case? Because your brain is often trying to scream at you to tell you that you are not thriving in your life. And if you're not going to pay attention to that, what that would do is it would just merely survive. And in that survival mechanism or that process of making you survive and not die, what it would do is it will cause compensations like forming emotional connection or connections with the emotional centers in your brain. And what that would do is it will start to cause you instability in those areas. So if it's affecting your frontal lobe, that will affect your cognition. If it's affecting your amygdala and your anterior cingulate gyrus, for those of you guys who are nerds and geeks like me, then it will start to affect your emotional centers. So there are various ways that whiplash can affect. So if this is a reminder for you, I want you guys to see any kind of injury from before as a present problem. That means you need to understand if you hadn't dealt with it from before, it could be causing some of your symptoms today. I have patients who had ankle pain removed after we fixed the whiplash. I have patients who have their auditory symptoms, perhaps tinnitus or hearing loss, completely removed after fixing their whiplash. I have patients who had speech issues, completely improved, 100% healing after we fixed the whiplash. So you got to understand, guys, the medical system here today, especially with medical emergency and GPs who are focused on just on physiotherapy, exercise, and pain meds, they may actually skip the part of dealing with the whiplash years later. So a lot of times patients come to me and they go, oh, I've had a whiplash years ago and I was just sent to the medical emergency and they said I was fine. They did a brain MRI, did a cervical MRI, and I'm good. And then they let me go. That's the problem. That means it wasn't dealt with succinctly, substantially at that point of the injury. So I want to urge you to think of your present symptoms, whatever it is, mental, emotional, structural, cognitive, as linked to your undealt with motor vehicle accident, especially if there was a whiplash many, many years ago. I hope this helps. I hope this gives you clarity. If anything, click the link down below and I'll get connected with you.